It's 11:30 on a Friday evening, and I seem to have gotten myself into trouble. So I texted my neighbors. I was like, hey, I'm gonna make lemon blueberry scones on Saturday. Does anyone want any? And now I'm making 16 scones. And the process has not started off well, to say the least. Insert a photo here. Yeah. But on the bright side, it makes for great content. So thank you guys for watching. Let's go ahead and get into it. This is lemon blueberry scones. I'm so excited for this one. All right, we're gonna start off pretty simple here. We're gonna take 12 tablespoons of sugar and 2 tablespoons of lemon zest. Just gonna put that in there. And we're just gonna stir this up here. And we're gonna do this before we do anything else, because if we just let this lemon zest sit with the sugar in there, it'll draw out some flavor, some moisture, and you'll get a real strong like essence of the lemon. It'll be delicious. So let's go ahead and get that mixed up. And I'm just mixing this up with a fork. It doesn't have to be perfect. Just enough to coat the lemon zest. It's gonna draw out that moisture, similar to making like a syrup almost, but not to that same extent. This is just really gonna make that lemon flavor pop. And now we've gotten that done, we've made a slight mess. We're gonna take 4 cups of flour. We're gonna take 5 teaspoons of baking powder, and we're gonna mix that in right on top. We're then gonna take 1 teaspoon of salt. Pour that in there. And then our sugar mixture, sugar lemon mixture. Pour that in there as well. And then I'm just gonna whisk this on up real quick. Now that that is mixed together, we're gonna take our dry ingredients and set this aside. Now that we have our dry ingredients mixed together, we're gonna take 2 cups of frozen grated unsalted butter, and we're gonna pour this right on top of our flour mixture. Now I'm gonna give you guys a heads up. This was terrible. This was the worst. Grating butter, as easy as it may sound, is not that easy, because the butter starts to melt no matter how frozen it is. And it just becomes a big mess. Your entire box grater gets covered in butter. But what can you do about it? Now that you have that, you're just gonna come in here and very quickly and gently mix your butter and flour mixture. You don't want the butter to melt, so you gotta be very quick here. And you're gonna mix it up until it has like pea-sized pieces of butter all throughout the flour mixture. The essence of lemon that is permeating from this bowl right now is phenomenal. I have a big piece of butter here, so I'm just trying to break that up into pieces. It's coming together great. You want it to be this kind of shaggy mess, because this is just our dry ingredients. And what you're going for with scones is you want light, you want fluffy, you want these buttery layers, almost like a great southern biscuit, or a nice croissant. Not to the same extent of a croissant, but you know what I'm saying, those buttery layers. You don't want that butter to just melt and mix in. You'll know if you do that, because it'll just be like a big buttery mess, and it'll be a dense, cakey like consistency. We want like a pastry here, but this is what we're looking for. It's coarse, there's little pieces of butter all throughout it. And then now we're gonna take this mixture, we're gonna throw this in the freezer, and we're gonna get working on our wet ingredients. All right, we're now gonna take 1 cup of heavy cream. And then 2 large eggs and 3 teaspoons of vanilla. And we're just gonna whisk this on up. You're gonna wanna use like an imitation vanilla extract. Just get like a really nice one. Whenever you're baking things, if you use like an actual vanilla extract like I've made, it doesn't work out too well, if I'm gonna be honest, because the flavor gets lost after a certain temperature, but with an imitation vanilla extract, that flavor comes through. Now that we have our chilled heavy cream vanilla extract and 2 large eggs, we're gonna just go ahead and pour this over our dry ingredients. And we're gonna just take a spatula and mix this up. You're not gonna mix it too much. This is part of the process. With scones, it's delicate. You wanna be gentle with it. You don't wanna go crazy with it. So we're just gonna mix it up until it forms a nice little dough. And I wouldn't recommend using your hands here because you don't want that butter to melt. Though we keep freezing it, it would be a little risky to try it. You're welcome to, wouldn't recommend it. Don't blame me if it doesn't work out for you if you do that. If you guys watch my videos, y'all know I like to mix doughs with my hands. I'm not that guy when it comes to, I might actually mix this one. All right, sorry for those technical difficulties. I have now moved to using a metal spoon until I bend it and it snaps as well. So if you're counting at home how many tragedies have taken place while Jared's making these blueberry lemon scones, we're up to 2. All right, it's starting to come together a little bit. As you guys can still see, it's a little shaggy, but I think it's about time where we take our 2 heaping cups of blueberries and mix those in. And I'm just gonna mix them in with my spoon, not gonna use my hands at all here. And you wanna be careful not to crush those blueberries. You can a little bit, you don't wanna do too much. I've now floured my work surface. I put this in the freezer for another like minute, and I'm just gonna roll this out. It is very shaggy. Oh goodness, yep. And like if yours was like mine's very dry. It needs a little bit more heavy cream. So I'm just gonna come in and add another tablespoon or 2 of heavy cream. Yeah, look at that. Just gonna pour a little bit on the top here. And we're now just gonna work this together. It should be sticky, it should be gross, it should be all those things. If it's a little too wet, you have the opposite problem as I have, just add more flour. If it's too dry, like I did, just work in that heavy cream. Oh my gosh, the blueberries are blowing up. You're just gonna kind of work it together. Wow, this is something else. If you've never made scones before, you might be looking at this and being like, Jared, what is happening? There's blueberries, they're blowing up everywhere. I see things rolling around. It looks weird. You're now making a log. Trust the process here. Trust the process. Now that it's come together a lot more than it was before, I'm gonna cut this in half. If you guys are just making one portion of this and you're not making 16 of them, you won't have to do that. But I'm gonna cut mine in half. I'm gonna make it into 2 discs. So I cut it into 2 equal parts. If you're making the same portion size as me, that's insane. That's a crazy cross section. And then I'm just gonna flatten this out into a disc. You want it to be about 1 inch thick around. Sprinkle a little flour on top of here. The butter is certainly melting here. And we're just gonna cut this into 8s. That's 6. That's a problem. All right. Crap. Now that your entire kitchen is a complete disaster, we're gonna take our scones and we're gonna sit them out. I'm gonna put them on a plate, really whatever you can get them on, and you're gonna cover them with plastic wrap and throw them in the freezer overnight. So this is why I was doing it at 11:30. It's now midnight. I'm gonna cover them, saran wrap them all, throw them in the oven, and tomorrow throw them in the freezer, and then tomorrow morning we're gonna bake them. It is now the next morning. I've gone ahead and taken our scones out, and I'm preheating the oven to 400 degrees. I've put them on parchment sheet lined baking trays, and you want them to be about an inch or 2 apart. And then you're gonna come in with equal parts heavy cream and water. So I'm using 2 tablespoons of water, 2 tablespoons of heavy cream, and we're just gonna put this on top. This is gonna help brown them, along with it's gonna allow us to come in with a coarse sugar topping and have that stick on top of these. Just gonna lightly brush each one. And then you're gonna take your coarse sugar, which you can get your coarse sugar at any grocery store. I had to get an entire value pack of sprinkles. I'm just looking for the clear ones. I'm gonna come in here, take a little bit in my hand, and then just sprinkle it from above. It's just like a clear sprinkles, those sugar sprinkles. I'm just gonna sprinkle that right on top here. Now that I have the sugar and heavy cream on here, I'm gonna throw these into the oven at 400 degrees for 22 minutes. We're gonna check on it at 22 minutes. It may end up taking up to 25, especially since they're frozen. But let's go ahead and throw these in the oven, and I'll check right back in whenever we're done. That's what I'm talking about. That looks fire. Bernoulli, come here. You go, gotta be scared. Come look at the scones. Come look at the scones. Sit. Look at those scones. Look at those scones. Those look crazy. Those look crazy, right? Those look so good. Yeah. 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 So that's how you make scones. You can stop here, or you can make a lemon glaze. I'm going to actually be making a few with a lemon glaze. So let's go ahead and skip to how to do that. Now that it's time to make our lemon glaze, I've got the juice of 1 lemon in here. A fresh lemon, actually the one that I used to get the zest. I'm just gonna start off slowly, and I'm gonna start mixing in powdered sugar. We're gonna slowly but surely start mixing in powdered sugar until we get the consistency that we want. You can look up a measurement online for this, but it's not that big of a deal, to be honest. Just add however much lemon juice you want. I'm doing 1 whole lemon, and then I'm gonna do 1 spoonful at a time of powdered sugar, and it'll slowly come together. Quickly whisk this up until it starts coming together. It's looking pretty good, actually. Yeah. Might add just about another spoon of powdered sugar. Make it a little thicker. I want this to be kind of a little thicker instead of a lighter one. And fun fact, did you guys know that powdered sugar is literally just ground up sugar? Bet you guys didn't expect to be learning fun facts with Jared today. Once you get the consistency you like, take a little spoon of it, taste it, make sure it's where you want it. Delicious. I'm now gonna just set this aside, let our scones cool, and then I'll show you guys me decorating. I think I only need to decorate one, so I made way too much. But this stuff, this lemon glaze, I'm telling you, if you like lemon, you could eat this by the spoonful. Not even joking. So all the scones are ready. I went ahead and iced the one off camera because I only needed to do it with one. But let's go ahead and taste test this. Luckily, I made a very small one just for myself, but let's see here. I'm gonna try it without the icing first. I mean, that's looking pretty good. Very light lemon flavor. Very buttery. Let's see with the lemon glaze. This is gonna be a mess. I'm just gonna leave it at that. Thanks for watching. Leave a like, leave a comment. Let me know what you guys want to see next. I'm glad I'm giving the rest of these away, because I'd lose my abs if I didn't.